Hello and welcome to Palindrome ASMR. Today I'm going to be reading from a book that I wrote called Lassifia. This is chapter 3. I have already read chapter 1 and chapter 2. So, these videos haven't been doing very well. If you want to hear more, just ask, but if not, I will do these very infrequently. My last one was perhaps 3 weeks ago, and I just thought it was another chance to, I just felt like reading aloud today. So, if you're too lazy to read or listen to chapters 1 and 2, the story so far is Cell, the main character, has joined a skyship crew. The skyship is called the Lassifia, which is the namesake of the book. And he meets a bunch of friends. Reiko, who is his childhood friend, who is older than him, but who he treated like a younger sister by protecting her and getting in scrapes and fighting for her, essentially. And then there is Toby, who is a anime magical girl. No, I'm just kidding. But she's inspired by anime magical girls. She's like a badass, short. She's like badass and short, basically. And then there is Belize and Frisk, the two other crew members who are too. They don't deserve mention. I'm just kidding. They're good characters. I do develop them a little bit, but neither of them play any big part in the story so far. And so they are on a mission on the skyfloor, investigating the wreck of a ship while fighting against zombies and robot pirates. And so they released a demon, an ancient demon who was trapped inside of a device that harnessed his power, and he was released, and so they just discovered this. And so the name of the chapter is Let the Sound of Demons Fill the Air. Chapter 3. A voice echoed in Cell's head, deep, soothing, compelling like the edge of a cliff on a dark, windy night. "Hello there, Toby Jess," said the voice. "I suppose you recognize me, don't you?" Toby turned in circles and looked up at the ceiling. "Where are you, Oye? Show yourself." "If I did, you would fight me, would you not?" The voice chuckled. "And you would lose. Such a shame to see a beautiful girl like you die. So I'll stay hidden, for your sake. Aren't I such a respectable gentleman?" "You're nothing of the sort," said Toby. "Come out. Don't think you can get away with this." "I have been waiting here for you. I knew you would show up. You're always at just the right place, at just the right time. I just wanted to deliver a message to you, personally." You know, I'm going to comment and say that was a very bad demon laugh. It would probably be like, "Mwahahahahahahaha," or like, or, anyways, that's enough. Now I'm free. I don't think I'm going to do things like last time. That was so last century. No, this time I'm going to do things a different way. A better way. I'd like to see you try to stop me. That would be fun. Oh, so much fun. Remember all the fun we had together? Of course, I lost in the end, but that won't happen this time. Now will it? Because I've grown. "Shut your monologuing trap," said Toby. "If you really want a showdown, I'll give you one right here." "Oh, Toby, Toby, always the brash one. If you want to fight me, come get me. Ha, 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 ha. There, I did it. That wasn't part of the book. Do you like my laugh? My demon laugh? Anyways, and laugh. I'm free, baby, I'm free, woohoo, suck that. The voice paused. Ha, I'll be going now. Be ready, Toby, my dear. You'll know it when you see it, because I'm back for good. Tally ho. The voice faded away. Toby kicked at a wall. Bollocks! They had to do it, didn't they, those Illyrians? They had to try to harness the power of the demon engine. Where did they even get it? Did I not lock it up in a safe enough place? Hold on a moment, said Reiko. What's your history with this? How come I haven't heard anything about it? Toby sighed. About 100 years ago, Belize's voice sounded from somewhere above Toby. Captain, the Mimas is less than 500 meters away, and closing. Another 5 minutes and it'll be striking range. In striking range. Toby slammed her fist against the wall. Catfish. Stupid, lame whiskers. She took a deep breath. Let's get out of here. She climbed over a couple of boxes and exited the hold through a hatch in a wall. Reiko and Cell followed. Reiko chuckled. The captain shares a vocabulary, doesn't she? Cell nodded. I don't know if you would call it that. I know. Don't tell that to her. I can hear you, said Toby as she grabbed hold of the rope that hung down from the sideways door. This is serious. Be serious. We might be in trouble. She began to climb up. Reiko followed her. Yeah, I am serious. Just trying to lighten the mood, you know. Toby made it to the top and then turned to look at Reiko. I don't think you understand the true danger of Oie. The last time he got loose, the world nearly ended. Reiko made it to the top. That doesn't seem like... It's true, said Toby. Whether you believe me or not, he was the real cause of the 7 Years' War. Cell grabbed hold of the rope and began to climb up. The 7 Years' War? The first global war against the forces of the bots and the goblins and the kaiju and the dragons and basically every other bad thing on this planet. They banded together and fought under the banner of Oie. You didn't learn about this in school? I didn't do well in history class. You must have done horribly if you don't know anything about the 7 Years' War. The name does sound familiar. I think I've heard it used before. Reiko gave a dry chuckle. I can attest to the fact that he did worse than horribly. Most of the time he wasn't even in class. Toby gave Cell a stern look before he made it to the top. Belize's voice sounded. Captain, hurry up. Kaiju, closing within 400 meters. Might I remind you that the swing of a mammoth's tentacle can reach up to 300? Sweet mother of Lord Harry, maneuver the ship, said Toby. Buy us some time. We're almost there. She stepped out of a gap in the hull and into the sunlight. She shielded her eyes with her hand. Cell stepped out next to her. The Lassifia floated at the edge of the clearing made by the crashing Hornus. Over the tops of the trees, the triangular head of the Manus could be seen creeping closer. A tentacle lifted up and swept through the air, missing the Lassifia by a couple dozen meters. In between Cell and the Lassifia's boarding ladder, interspersed throughout the clearing, were dozens of zombies and bot pirates engaged in intense combat. Lasers flew. Zombies spit against hard metal again and again, without effect. Toby got into a sprinter's stance. On my mark, run! Reiko climbed out of the ship and stood behind Cell. Toby breathed out. Run! Cell pumped his legs as fast as they would go and leapt over a massive spar covered in sailcloth, landing against the bottom of a fallen tree, staggering, recovering himself, and continuing forwards. He came to the end of the trunk and looked across a deep gouge in the earth to a fallen tree on the other side. He set himself and jumped. He missed. His foot came down in a gap between two branches and twisted. He stumbled and hit the tree trunk and then rolled, hanging above the gouge upside down. Reiko made the jump fine. She bent down next to Cell. Cell gritted his teeth. Go, I'm not worth it. Reiko gripped Cell's waist and pulled. Are you kidding me? I'm not leaving another member of the crew to die. She yanked him up onto the tree trunk. His leg twisted. He cried out in pain. Reiko pulled Cell up onto his feet. Damn shields, you should have protected you. Cell leaned against Reiko. Thanks. Reiko began to limp down to the fallen tree. Don't mention it. They made it to the end and stepped off onto a relatively clear patch of grass. A zombie rushed out from between two fallen trees with its arms extended. Reiko brandished her belaying pin. Hold on, she said. A blast of blue magic impacted the zombie from the side and sent it sprawling. Toby jumped down from the top of a broken piece of pirate ship. She sprinted across the grass. Come on, he's not going to stay down forever. Reiko and Cell hobbled after Toby towards the Lassifia's ladder. Two robots brandishing plasma rifles appeared from over the top of a fallen tree. One of them pointed. The other fired. Cell's magical shields absorbed the hits, but he wondered how long they would last. Reiko's shields went out first. A blast caught her in the shoulder and turned it into paste. She collapsed to the ground, screaming in pain, her body writhing. Cell went down with her. Toby rushed to their side. Oh, God. That's kind of grim. Reiko, stay with me. She spoke quickly in the magical language. Stay with me. Plasma bolts impacted against her magical shielding, which was positioned in such a way as to protect Reiko. Reiko convulsed against Toby's arms. Her skin shimmered, then began to shift, and then restored back to its original state. Both she and Toby gasped at the same time. Toby turned to Cell. You too. She spoke a few words in the magical language. Cell's foot stopped hurting. Toby wiped her mouth, standing up and turning to the robots. She held out her palm. Corsinam, eta. Blue light sprayed out of her palm in rapid-fire bursts. At first they impacted against the robot's shielding to no effect. But then one robot's shield broke down, and then the other, and then they both exploded into parts. Toby collapsed to her hands and knees. Beans. She gasped. Stupid fracking oiled carrots. Are you okay? Asked Reiko. Toby swallowed. I'm fine. Let's get to the ship. She stood up. Belize's voice sounded. Captain, bad news. The Mammoth is in range. We're releasing the skyhooks and shifting. You'll have to catch the ladder while it's in motion. Toby slammed her fist against the tree trunk. Let's do this. She took off sprinting towards the Lassifia. Cell and Reiko followed in her wake. They rushed past more fallen trees and then made it to the intact jungle, where the Lassifia's ladder floated between the treetops. It was picking up speed. Soon it would be too fast to catch. Toby made it first. She jumped up and grabbed it with one hand just before it lifted above her reach. Reiko made it next, with both hands, a smooth move that looked effortless. She turned her head and looked down to Cell. You going to make it? She called. Cell put on an extra burst of speed. He gasped. I don't know. Reiko looked down, leaned down, and extended her leg. Grab on. Cell pushed himself even harder and made it to her leg, which he grabbed with both arms. Shit, that hurts, said Reiko. She pulled him up close enough so that he could grab the ladder. Then she began to climb up. A gigantic tentacle crashed down through the treetops and landed just meters away from the ladder. Through the canopy, Cell caught sight of the Mammoth's eyes, big, round, and as evil as could be. He climbed faster. He made it to the top in one piece, and then collapsed onto the deck, next to Toby, who lay on her back panting like a dying fish. Oh, God, she said, her voice rough. That was hard. She swallowed fish sticks, boiled cuttlefish. She took a deep breath. I'm hungry. She began to laugh. Reiko sat down beside Toby. What about the job? She asked. Oh, bollocks, said Toby. That's right. We aren't getting paid, are we? In the distance, the Mammoth roared as the Lassifia pulled away. Belize finished adjusting the sails and walked over to where Toby and Cell lay. How did it go? Toby sighed. Not good. Looks like the world might be in trouble. Again. Belize blinked. Gnomes? Toby laughed. No, a Wea. Though I wish it were gnomes. That might be easier. Said Belize. Toby raised an eyebrow. She still lay on the ground. You're not going to ask who a Wea is? Belize shook his head. Toby sighed. Okay, you don't have to know. She rolled over onto her stomach. Frisk, keep this ship moving towards the Cyndia. Frisk called out from the helm. Right away, Captain. Toby turned to Reiko and Cell. She extended her hand. Help me up. The sails are going to attack themselves. Cell grabbed one of Toby's arms, and Reiko grabbed the other. They both pulled her up in tandem. It wasn't hard. Toby weighed less than a normal child of her size, which was saying something. She brushed off her hair. I feel better now, she said. Come on. She walked over to the mizzenmast and pulled at a rope. Cell and Reiko did the same. When they had finished setting the sails, Toby wiped their brow and sat down on the deck. Cursed bananas, she sighed. This has been a long day. Reiko sat down next to her. It has. Cell stood above both of them. Is there anything else you need me to do? Toby waved her arm. Nope, unless you want to check up on the anti-management officer. No, thank you, said Cell. Reiko sighed and looked down at the ground. That reminds me, I have to do that now. She got up. Well, today has been fun. I'll see you guys later. Come down into the hole if you want to chat. She walked to the hatch in the deck and climbed down. Toby lay on her back and looked up at the sky. The wind tousled her hair and made her look a little older than usual. Cell laid down on his back beside her for lack of a better thing to do. Do you have any parents? Asked Toby. What do you mean, do I have any parents? Of course I do. You seem like the orphan type. Oh, how come? Well, you're a deadbeat for one. Cell grimaced. Did Reiko? Toby laughed. No, she always talks you up. But I assume from what I heard, you split away from your parents at a young age, right? Cell chewed on the inside of his cheek. How much exactly has Reiko said about me? Well, she's been with this crew for 4 years, and in that time we've had more conversations about you than I can count. I'd think she had the hots for you if she didn't so viciously deny it. I kind of protected her, I guess. You could say I was her big brother. But you're younger than her, right? 2 years. Hmm. Sal put his arm over his eyes. What am I doing here? What's my purpose? He sighed. God, that's so stupid. I'm so stupid to even think that. He paused. Captain, I'm not that skilled of a person. I can't do much besides sail, and that's only because I was taught in school. Why did you agree to hire me? Sometimes, said Toby, I like to take a chance on people. There was a short silence. Sal moved his arm to his chest. Then, you only chose me because of chance? Well, there isn't much more to hiring an extra hand, is there? What, did you think it would be something more? No, Captain. Toby laughed. I don't feel so down. We're alive. After an encounter with robot pirates, miasm zombies, and a mammoth, no less. You should be grateful for that. I am, said Sal. He sat up, resting his weight on his arms. He let out a breath. I just don't know. He closed his eyes. I just don't know. He cracked a smile. Screw it. He tossed up his hands and fell back onto the deck. Screw it. You're right, Captain. Enjoyment is the best. Enough with this stupid self-pity. I'm going to live it up. Bag staggling bollocks, Toby laughed. Fried lobster fondue. Gosh darn crickets. Sal began to laugh as well. Rats with tails. Toby snorted. And double-hatted ghost bottoms. Sal couldn't contain it anymore. He rolled over on his side and laughed until he hurt. Then he calmed down some inside. Ah, thanks, Captain. I needed that. He got up, stretching out his arms above his head. I need something to do. A goal. He walked up to the rail and leaned on it. Toby got up and walked to the rail as well, leaning against it. You can have a goal to be the best swordsman in the world, or the best magician, or maybe the best marksman. Sal shook his head. That's not my type of thing. Maybe. How about a goal to save your little sister? I don't have one. Rieko doesn't count, and she doesn't need saving anyways. Where'd you come up with that? Toby shrugged. Dunno, just tossing out ideas. I'm going to become immortal, like you. Toby whistled. Fat chance of that happening. I'm a special case because I was a young girl between the ages of 9 and 13. There's a magic about that age range in girls that allows for some crazy stuff, but you'd have to gain the favor of the gods by doing something amazingly heroic, and the gods don't give favors easily. Sal sighed. It was worth a thought. Toby tapped her foot against the deck. How about something more mundane, like saving the world? You call that mundane? Well, we might be in the process of doing something like that already, and hey, if you do save the world, the gods might grant you immortality. You'd kill two birds with one stone. Captain, I don't think your logic is any better than mine. Toby laughed. No, I guess it isn't, but hey, it was worth the thought, right? Selby nodded. Right. Toby leaned her head back against the railing and stared at the sky. Ah, it's such a nice day out, isn't it? She smiled. Perfect for some magical testing. You want to be powerful, don't you? Sal nodded. Has anyone ever tested you for magical aptitude? Sal shook his head. Toby lifted up her hands. Well then, I'll test you right now. She walked over to Sal and put her hands on his torso. She then began speaking in the magical language, the words rolling off of her tongue, creating queer sounds in the air. She stopped after a while and closed her eyes. A row of numbers appeared in front of her. She opened her eyes and examined them, then pursed her lips. Looks like you have some magic potential and it can grow, but it would take a whole lot of training, years probably, and even then you'd never be as powerful as Belize. Maybe magic isn't for you. She squinted. Though there is one strange number that I can't read. It's not even a number. Letters? What language is that? She sighed. Fish sticks, I screwed up the incantation. It doesn't matter. We know what we know. Will I ever be able to use magic in combat? Probably, said Toby. With the help of the mage officer, you might even be able to hold your own. She looked back at the numbers floating in front of her. Though those letters are awfully suspicious. I'll check them out. Maybe it wasn't my mistake. Maybe you're special in some way. That happens sometimes. She narrowed her eyes. I'll do it now. You can, go do your thing. She turned aside without further comment and climbed down the hatch and into the hold. Sal watched her go. Oh, he thought. I see. Well, I guess. He looked over at Belize, who was at the wheel. Frisk was in the crow's nest up above him. Sal walked up to the wheel. So, Belize, he said, how's it going? Belize said nothing for a moment. Good. Did you see that kraken? Well, I mean, of course you did, but did you see it? Its eyes. Sal paused. And am I bothering you? Should I go and try and talk to Reiko? You're not bothering me, said Belize. I'm not? Thought Sal. He said. Then do you want to talk about something? You seem kind of, well, bored. I'm not bored. Oh, said Sal. I would be bored. There was a silence for a few moments. Do you like chocolate? Asked Belize. What? Said Sal. Say that again. Do you like chocolate? Yeah, I do. I mean, who doesn't? Frisk doesn't like chocolate. Oh, said Cell. I see. He paused. Why do you ask? Police said nothing. Cell sighed. Okay, all right then. You won't tell me. I'll just curiously imagine what you're going to do with that information. Police smiled slightly, his eyes focusing on Cell for a moment, and then looking back over the bow. You do that. I will, said Cell. He waited for another minute. Do you have anything else you want to talk about? Not really. I see. How about what's your favorite kaiju? I don't like kaiju. I don't think anyone really likes them. I mean, let me rephrase it. What's the coolest, meanest, most powerful kaiju? The one that would win a kaiju tournament? I think it's the Shaliffosaurus. They have the most powerful jaws, and they're tall, and they have razor sharp tails. They would totally win in a fight. Belize chuckled. Gnomes. Cell tossed up his hands. Ah, it's no use, he paused. Though if they were real, I mean, an army of gnomes or a Shaliffosaurus, damn, that's a hard one. Depends on the size of the army, but it wouldn't have to be that big because gnomes are scary. He smiled. You got me there, Belize. Gnomes might just win, but they aren't kaiju, so they would be disqualified from the tournament. Belize shrugged. They should be kaiju. Cell thought about it for a minute. I bet if they were real, they would be. He leaned against the railing. So, you never say anything about yourself. Belize said nothing. Cell waited for a moment. He shrugged. Sorry, just asking. Am I prying? Belize shook his head. You're not. Should I target my questions more? Belize shrugged. Just ask. Cell thought for a moment. Where were you born? Casas Bimon. Cell thought some more. Were your parents nice? Didn't have any. Oh, so you grew up on the streets? In an orphanage. Cell chewed on his cheek. Damn, this feels bad. I didn't know. Sorry, I didn't mean to pry. It's okay. Cell thought for a moment. How old are you? Belize said nothing. Cell scratched the back of his neck. Okay then. Next question. Have you ever done anything other than sailing? Belize stayed silent for a while. It's okay not to answer. Hitman. Debt collector. Cell inhaled. Wow, that's pretty harsh. For who? Belize shook his head. Okay, I won't ask. Arcel says that. Okay, I won't ask. That's, well, I mean, no offense really, but I kind of saw you doing that sort of thing. Belize smiled. I know. Cell gave a nervous laugh. Yeah, I mean, you're big, you're silent, and you like to wear black. And you're really good with magic. Cell chuckled. I know. Or Belize chuckled. I know. A gust of wind blew up and tousled Cell's hair. He pushed it back with his hand. I feel closer to you now. Thanks. Leaving already? Cell grinned nervously. I have other people to talk to. Belize nodded. We'll talk later? Cell paused. Yes, we will. He stepped away from the helm and towards the mainmast. Since I've already talked to Belize today, that's a bad way to think about it. He began to climb up the rigging. I just need to ask Frisk when the next sword lesson will be. Then I'll go down. He made it to the top and climbed over the edge of the crow's nest. Frisk caught sight of him and grinned. Ah, Cell, my boy, how are you? He clapped Cell on the back. What brings you up here at such an opportune time? Cell grinned as best he could. I'm here to ask when the next sword lesson will be. Frisk opened his eyes wide. Boyo, you're getting... Frisk opened his eyes wide. Boyo, you're getting fired up about this? I like it, he laughed. That reminds me of how Burns used to be about his sword lessons. You're shaping up to be just like him. Cell nodded. Yeah, I am, I guess. Rego doesn't seem to like it. Frisk leaned towards Cell conspiratorially. I'll tell you a secret. Don't tell Reiko I said this. I think she was, get this, in love with him. He leaned back. Can you believe it? And he was a nerdy boy, too. Not someone I'd imagine her liking. I had kinda... Cell paused. Figured that already. Frisk raised one eyebrow. Oh, you had, eh? You must be a sharp boy. Not like me. It took me years to figure out what was going on, and by then it was too late. No one's going to come asking me advice anymore, he sighed. Ah, the joys of youth. You're not that old, said Cell. Frisk motioned with his arms. I'm 41, more than halfway done with my life. He put his hand to his forehead. Ah, woe is me, woe is me. He began to laugh. Oh well, I'll enjoy it while I can. He took up his spyglass and scanned the horizon. Nothing to report, Captain, he said to himself. Nothing at all. He took down his spyglass and looked at Cell. What? Cell shrugged. I kind of had you pinned down as the more serious type. When I'm around the captain, sure, someone has to balance her out, but I'm not like that all the time. No, that would be boring, especially up here in the nest. Here, I can be who I want to be, he paused. You'll understand someday, boyo. I think I already do. Frisk raised his eyebrows. That's a bold claim. Can you show it to me? I'm not sure how, said Cell. Frisk clapped Cell on the shoulder. That's okay. You can demonstrate it in your sword lessons. Learn fast, my young prodigy. I will, said Cell. So, when's the next one? Frisk twirled his mustache. This afternoon. If the weather permits, and if the captain allows. She might have something up her sleeve. I saw her glancing at you. She wants to steal you for her own purposes. Teaching you magic. Pah! That stuff will never be how real men fight. It's kind of how the whole world fights now. Shush, said Frisk. Blades will always have a place in warfare. Sal nodded. If you say so. Frisk rested his elbows on the edge of the crow's nest and leaned back. Ah, it's a nice day, isn't it? The captain said so as well, said Sal. It must be really nice. In this part of the world, boy, nice days are lucky. You've been very lucky. No storms have hit us yet, which is a mighty rare thing. Sal looked out over the horizon. Is there any reason for that? Luck, said Frisk. I'm not the superstitious type, but if I were, I'd say you were a good juju. Sal raised his eyebrows. I kind of had you pegged as the superstitious type. Frisk shrugged. Did you? I'm not. None of that wishy-wash has any effect on me, though I will admit you'll see me praying to Galenus when we hit a real bad storm. Sal smiled. Galenus might one day answer you. Frisk laughed. Fat chance. 41 years and I haven't ever seen one glimpse of a god. Show me some demigods, though. See me some demigods, though. He shuddered. There was one fellow, half-elf, son of Ithaca, god of insanity. The Nalafush army had hired him as a mercenary in the War of the Black Diamonds. He was merciless, as crazy as a loon. He killed an entire village because they weren't wearing the right shade of green. He got his dues, though. One threw a spear by the demigod hero Deliticus. You were there? Even back then I was a sailor, cabin boy at the time, aboard the Relistis, one of the Qualican Navy galleons. Mighty fine skyship she was. 100 meters from prow to stern, 4 decks, 50 cannon, crew of 200. Ah, those were the days. Not that I wish I was back. I like it here just fine. Sal stretched out his arms. Well, it's been nice talking to you. Come back any time, scrub. I'll tell you some stories of my war days. Sal nodded. Will do. See you this afternoon if we have practice. He began to climb down the crow's nests. Frisk called down from above. And tell the captain not to exert herself. She just went through a whole lot down there. I will, said Sal. He climbed down to the deck and walked across it to the hatch and climbed down the stairs to the hole. He caught sight of Reiko tinkering with the mess of pulsating pipes attached to the port wall. The black crystal was only a quarter full. Reiko raised her head and looked at him. She waved the tool. Get over here. Sal went over. What? He said. Reiko pointed from one pipe to the next. Where do you think the problem is? The astral qualificator or the proton semicollider? What's the problem? Reiko pointed to the black crystal. The constrance chamber won't release its grimdark construct superfluid at the required 302 to 75 ratio. And what's the ratio right now? 207 to 60. I would bludgeon the qualificator and kick the I would hit it. Reiko shook her head. Tried that. Doesn't work. Anything else? Sal shook his head. Did Burns teach you all this? Reiko cringed. He said nothing for a moment and seemed really thinking. Yes, she paused. Not all of it. Some of it she bit her lip. Some of it I learned just after his death. What of it? Sal smiled as best he could. Just wanted to know. Burns sounds like a really cool person. He was. You done here? You were the one that asked me over. Reiko motioned with her tool. Go. Sal went, turning around to give one last look. He sighed and walked up to the captain's door. Captain, are you done in there? He asked. Frisk told me to tell you not to. The door swung open. Toby leaned out, her eyes wide with excitement. Sal, you're a techno-mage. And that is where Chapter 3 ends. If you want to hear Chapter 4, which I highly doubt that anyone actually has been following along because no one's commented about it. I mean, if you are following along and have watched all the videos, then by all means, hit me up. Comment on this video, say you want me to continue the series, and if you want it to be a weekly thing, say that. If you want it to be a bi-weekly thing, or if you want it to be a daily thing until I finish the book, by all means, just if you I'm open to whatever suggestions the comments section has. And again, if you ever want me to talk about anything or to consider any topic uh, during my normal ASMR videos, just ask in the comments. You can ask questions about me. You can ask questions about my thoughts on anything, or you can ask me a question that I'll have to research to answer. I mean, it can be anything. I'll tackle it. Like, anything. No X-rated stuff, though. Or anything about any illegal stuff, any X-rated stuff, that stuff, no. But anything other than that, just ask. Uh, I mean, if you want the story to continue, just ask, Also, if you've listened to chapters 1 and 2, I was sitting against this wall. If you like me sitting against this wall better, if you want to see the book, instead of just me up here, my book was down here, then tell me. I live in a trailer, which you probably know by now. And so the only space I have to record is right here and over there on the couch. There are not very many spaces in this trailer. This is a small trailer. I just had to burp there. Been gaining weight recently. Thank you for watching this far. You're amazing. Anything you want to ask, anything you want to talk about in the comment section below. I may not be able to reply because my account doesn't let me reply to comments. It says comment failed to post whenever I try to reply. So I may not be able to reply to any comments in the comment section, but do know that I am reading them. That's it. Again, if you want, I already said this like 10 times, but if you want chapter 4, just ask for it. If not, it'll be out in about 2 weeks. That's like my schedule for this reading out loud thing. And that's it. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the other side.